I'm gonna teach you some bass. I'm gonna teach you some bass. And sometimes maybe I'll teach you some other stuff too. Jazz hands.
What's going on, everybody? Hello out there at the Bass channel. Had a special request here for you today from one of y'all, Aldo Martinez. Hello out there. There was a request working on one of the recent tabs that came out here, Cat's Eye, talking about the solo and how to play that, and I thought I'd do a little bit of that for you here today. So we're gonna look at the music, and let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, got it. We're gonna go over different practice tips, how you should go about learning things, covering some different slap and pop techniques and left hand stuff as well. And before too long, we're gonna get you popping and slapping just like Tomohito. First thing, let's go ahead and let's listen to this specific little segment in the song here. Before we talk about any of going into the specifics of this lick, we need to just talk about a couple fundamental things that have to do with popping and slapping. So first of all, the way that I pop and slap is one of many ways that it is done. I subscribe to the Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers / a little bit of Victor Wooten style, although he has switched a lot to double thumb, doesn't matter right now. Anyway, I strike from above and bounce off. I'm not one of those that strikes through. So with that style, you get a more aggressive pop, and Tomohito Aoki, the guy who is playing bass in these albums, that is one of his styles that he uses quite often, and he uses in this song. So we're having a lot of repetitive bounces going on in our right hand. So first of all, with that technique, we need to work on finding a good strike point for your thumb. So the best strike point is going to be right above where the crease of your thumb is, for two reasons. One, you've got this edge of the bone, which is right there, and two, it's where your thumb sticks out just a little bit. But there's just a tiny, tiny little bit that's out there, and that's just a callus like anything else from practicing or doing anything. What that allows me to do, that allows me to hit exactly in the middle, dead of the string, and not hit something else. So let's say that I don't hit that exactly. Let's say I miss. You hear all those extra overtones, that ringing? That's because since I'm hitting it sideways with my thumb and I'm not striking it exactly down, it's not going up and down. It's spinning in a circle. Because when we pluck like this, and you can hear that buzzing right there, that's what we don't want in any of our sound, is because I'm plucking too hard. That rattling is when we're spinning, the string is spinning in this big oval shape. It's rattling against other frets, things like that. Now I need to get my poor bass adjusted, so that's part of the problem here. But if I lightly strum, you hear that tone, but you don't hear all that over ringing, all that extra buzz tone, which if you're playing punk rock, you're totally fine. Go for it all day. Coming back to what we're talking about here, we need to find that strike point so that we're hitting the string mostly up and down and it's not going left and right to give us this desired sound. Now, I've got an extra B string on here, and just for now, because I'm going to show you left hand muting, I'm just going to mute this. If you don't have a B string, don't worry about it. I missed. That happens. Went too far forward. There we go. Now, if you do have a B string, at this point, you can use your left hand to stop it like this for now. If you want to use your thumb, that's totally fine. But don't cheat yet and block your A string, because that's what we're going to do eventually here. And I'm going to go ahead and lift this up so you can see a little bit better. If I'm going to be playing my E string, my thumb is barely touching the B, and my middle finger, or my first finger, or whatever, is barely touching the A. That way, if I'm perfect, not bad, you still hear extra stuff, but that then removes the extra stuff. Then if I'm not perfect and I slop around a little bit, if I'm that sloppy, I don't get as good of a tone, but I still only hit that one note. This is one of the first things that you can think about. Step 1, boop. Now moving on to phase 2. Ding. Now that we're here, that's what you want to start with, getting comfortable. Ways to practice getting comfortable with this. Metronome. Okay, so I got this metronome. So you want to practice things rhythmically. There's a lot of different ways to go about how you use the metronome. Key thing is start slow. So either start with very slow clicks, or what I think is a better way to go, start with more clicks or a faster tempo, but have more of them in between. So instead of doing one hit a click, do one hit per 4 clicks. Something like this. This is at 100. This is another great time to bring up the point of where I am striking the bass with my right hand. You're not hitting it down here. The physics of a slap, or at least the physics of the slap that I am teaching you here how to do today, is revolved around hitting the string against one of these frets and then having it bounce back up. That's where we get that initial hit, and then it kind of kills the circular motion that we were talking about earlier when we strum or when we pick, and it has it die down because it's a vertical snap. We don't get that circular motion. That's what we're wanting, is that very vertical hit. So everyone's a little different. Again, everyone's hand, everybody's instrument, but you are going to be at least 2 to 3 frets into your board at the minimum. This is, man, you're popping and slapping low if you're down here. You can do it. There's so many different techniques, but to get a crisper, more aggressive sound, which is what we're going here for Tomohito, where we need to stick out against everything else, we want to be higher. And you can hear that volume difference here. Let me just show you a little bit. Different sound. So you are now practicing with your metronome. Once you get 4 goes, so let's say you've got this going 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, all that kind of stuff. Make it 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. You get what I'm getting at. Eventually, boom. There you go. Slapping. Had to think of that word. Next part of it, we're going to talk a little bit about popping here. Well, I'm not going to go a huge amount into this. All of this is a video into itself. But anyway, one of the main ideas of when you're popping here is you want to get your finger underneath whatever string, get it hooked under there, not too tightly, but enough that when you pull up, again, we're going for this vertical idea. You want to snap the string up and down. So it doesn't take a whole lot of muscle to do, but you do have to train your finger to hold a good shape. Violin world. We have to do this all the time with our right and left hand, where we need to make shapes that have power. With our bow or with our left hand, same thing here with bass. We need to make sure that we have good power in our hand. The difference with bass to a violin or viola is we need resistance from our left hand when we play bass and guitar. We do not have that resistance in the same way with other stringed instruments. But the point remains, you need to have a shape that is strong but flexible. When I have my finger like this, it's got a good amount of push, but if I touch my knuckle, it collapses inward. That's what we're looking for here. You want something that is going to get your pull, but you don't want to cramp your hand up so much that you're killing yourself or that it hurts. Because when you start doing popping, it is going to happen. I'm sorry, everybody. You're going to goof your fingers up. You're going to start to get blisters from pulling the skin against itself. When you start to see the blisters, you have to stop. I promise you. They will, not only will they heal, but you'll get stronger over time and it won't be bad. You have to stick with it though for probably, it'll take about 2 weeks because you have to play to the point where you get those, stop for 2 days, keep going again. Hopefully you don't overdo it again, but if you do, stop for 2 days, those kinds of things. But then you get calluses like this and you're totally fine and it doesn't hurt. And I have those on both 1 and 2. Now, if you're a super awesome person like Tomohito or any of these other characters that we look at here on the base channel, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, 5 fingers, you got to use them all. And you have to develop all of them in different ways of doing double plucks, triple. For popping and slapping though, we primarily use these 3 fingers. And so depending on first or second finger really just has to do with your comfort level and where you are on the instrument. So if I'm down here and I want to do let's say I'm doing just a regular underneath the 5th fret. I'm gonna move here so you can see a little better. I'm gonna move back. I'm just gonna use my first finger. If I'm up higher, my middle finger can get a little bit more pull. It's a little bit longer, it gets under there a little harder. And these upper strings, since I don't have as much rattle, because my string is half, I'm cutting the string in half, I like that a little bit more. That kind of thing. So you want to develop both, but with this basic idea in mind, the strategy is the same. Get your metronome out, start practicing slow. You don't need a lot of effort. It should just be something where you set yourself up, you pull up, you're good to go. Now, getting to what we actually are talking about here with the popping and slapping ideas. So let's say that you're feeling good about that. Now we can look at the actual music. Boom. So one of the things that I unfortunately don't have the skill or really the way to visualize without getting cumbersome on the bass channel are all the hammer-ons, or all of the pops versus the slaps and all these kinds of different things. And I'm just kind of relying on you all to look at my hands, and that's why I'm trying to give multiple views so you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit. But with something like this, or with a lot of these fills, it's very difficult. Even like, I know what I'm doing, and watching my hands trying to prepare for this video, I was like, yeah, that's hard to see. I had to, remind myself how it works. But talking through it here slowly, let's focus on where the notes need to be as far as hits for slaps, hammer-ons, and pulls. So, quick review, a hammer-on is where I'm gonna hit a note and then hammer on another finger in my left hand. This was another thing that Dave was asking about. When I've got my first finger down here, you can see I'm playing on my E string, but my first finger, the fatty part of it, is touching this B string so it doesn't ring. So even if I have terrible slap technique, if I mute properly, I still get one note. That's obviously not what I want, but that's what's going on with this finger here. Muting. Hammer on. Pull off. Opposite. Or in this case, pulling off in that way. Now, let's look again at our music. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The idea here is that we want to map out where our pops, slaps, hammer-ons, pull-offs. You have to work yourself up. These are some fast slaps here, but you want to just be loose. So, right here, I'm going to go through that first measure for the slaps, pops, all that stuff. 1, 2, ready, go. So most of them are slaps, but we have a couple hammer-ons. We start with a slap, 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 hammer on, slap, hammer on. Let me try that again. So slap, 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 hammer on, slap, hammer on. Let's see it in action. Again. Next one. Similar. We have that tied over note, then slapping like the beginning. Now we have slapping and popping. So we've got slap, pop, slap, slap, pop, slap, pop. Slap, pop, slap, slap, pop, slap, pop. Again. Slap, pop, slap, slap, pop, slap, pop. And again, when you're doing these slaps, you want it to be a rebound. You're not going and letting it die on the string. You're bouncing back. And you don't need to go flying off in the stratosphere, but you need to do it as if you were bouncing the way I practiced and the way the Victor Wooten, check his videos, he taught how to practice is you tap your thumb on a table or something like that. And when you tap it, you see how much energy that takes to go down. And you want to try to drop it so that you're not having any energy other than the weight of your thumb going on the table. Then when you transfer that over to the bass, it's a little bit like a trampoline because you're going down and the string is pushing you back up. So if you let your thumb be relaxed, the string will just kick you off. So you don't even have to worry about it. Even me looking like that right there, where I'm really trying to be light, it's kicking me off. Now my hand is resting, I'm being lazy, but if I use good technique, I'm still not having to actively lift, my thumb just bounces off. Okay, so that's our section. Let's go over that real quick again. The beginning. Slap, 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 slap. Here we go. Ready, go. Slap, 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 hammer, slap, hammer, slap, 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 pull, slap, slap, pull, slap, pull. Okay, next one. Start with the hammer on. So it's hammer on, slap, slap. Slap, slap, pop, slap, 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 hammer, slap, pop, pop. Okay, let's do that second half again. This is ready and go. And one, hammer, slap, slap, pop, slap, 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 hammer, slap, pop, pop. Whew, almost said it wrong. Okay. Do that with the metronome. That's the idea. So here's the whole thing now. Slap, 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 hammer, slap, hammer, slap, 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 pop, slap, slap, pop, slap, pop, hammer, slap, slap, pop, slap, 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 hammer, slap, pop, pop. I'm not gonna say it. Ready and go and. A little bit faster. And as you get faster, it will sound better because all of those extra little muffled notes get pulled closer together. But you gotta stay loose in the right hand. And. 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. Now, if you want to try to go for full Tomohito Aoki points, you gotta remove all the hammer-ons, and you just gotta slap. 1, 2, 3, woo! I didn't play all the right notes. That video that I was planning on making 3 minutes has turned into 35 minutes of footage. We'll see what we trim it down to. But I hope this was helpful in some way to somebody out there. And a big thank you one more time for the request from Aldo. Good luck learning on the bass, my brother. If you ever need any more help, or if any of y'all need any help with any songs, please let me know. I'm happy to teach. I live to serve. Have a good one, y'all.